guys, welcome to Rainbow Six X Community Cup Season 4. It's been madness alongside Panda. I'm kind of new for a bit over here, but it's organized by Fragnation, and these Community Cups keep on churning out one after another over here, Santa.
Yes, indeed, and they are pretty exciting to watch for. So look forward for more. And please tell your friends as well to join the community so that you can also have fun in this action. So we'll be looking forward for the teams and how they are taking it further.
Yeah, and then just
So
taking a look at how the event format is looking. It is single elimination, guys. No mistakes allowed. You drop a map, unfortunately, you are out of the competition. It's a 5v5 event game mode. Pretty much what you think from the standard Rainbow Six Siege that goes on, the action that took us forward over here. But today will be a best of 3 between these two teams, and they're teams that pretty much know each other over here, Sand.
yes, we have team. We will talk about the teams and the players. An interesting format, of course. We'll be going through the best of three. So one chance and the winner has to take it. Otherwise, it's like, again, you have to go for the grind. So, talking about the grind, here's the prize pool. It is 50,000 Indian rupees. The first will get 25,000, the second will get 15,000, and third 10,000. And not to forget the coins. Okay, so here we have 13,350 for the fourth, for the fifth 8,940, and for the sixth 6,000. So pretty much everyone is getting something or the other out of the play. So I highly recommend that please tell your friends about it.
Yeah, definitely. And then you can see your two teams today is going to be Hasib Warriors versus Team Dim. Majority of the players will be from Bangladesh. We think we do have 3 players from Hasib Warriors who are from the Indian community as well. But this is pretty much a brawl out from the same nationality. So this is going to be interesting to see because a lot of these people do play with each other. They do know the kind of strats that you will be running. They have played in previous community cups with each other as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys do match up when it comes to the actual format of a tournament and how their bans and all will be pricking out for them, because now we can get to see what kind of maps will be coming out. You can see that Hasib Warriors banned out Chalet. You can see Dim banned out Lair. Skyscraper banned by Hasib Warriors. Dim bans out Bang. First map of the day is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky. Second map's going to be Border. And then you have the Decider going to be Night Haven Labs. Not one of my favorite maps, but I really want to see some Cafe and Border action.
Yes, Cafe Dostoevsky, a map that I always look forward for. After Cafe, most likely I look for Shala, but unfortunately today that is banned. Skyscraper is banned as well, another interesting map. So we have to go with Cafe Dostoevsky and then in Border. I have seen Hasib Warriors doing some very crazy stuff in Cafe Dostoevsky, so let's go ahead and look forward for the same. Now that all matters and how they pick and choose the pick or ban the operators, and from there it takes further. Now talking about the players from Hasib Warriors, we have Hasib himself along with Taha, Fatar, Zedux and Baz. Look forward for Zedux and Baz. They are the annihilators. On the other side, from Team DIM, we have Sakib, Electric, Tony, Cryptic and Sheikh.
You do have these people. The banning phase has already begun. Actually, going then restricting the operators, but Azami, Blackbeard, Mira, and Grim will not be allowed for this round moving forward. Let's see what kind of operators will be getting picked up here. The Ace, always very conventional, and Ace and Thermite is interestingly coming through over here. You don't have any electrics banned out, but no electrics either picked up. The site is going to be the 3F side of the bar and cocktail lounge. Always pretty much the favorite going into the action for themselves over here. But as we can see, we are going to be jumping right into the competition. A nice cheeky Valkyrie cam, but a pretty much expected area. If it's a top tier team, I'm expecting they're going to clear this out. They did not bring an IQ to match this, so if they spot out the Valkyrie, they might switch over later.
I guess I have to look forward for, and that's the first round. Team DIM being the defenders, got to see how exactly they are going to reinforce. I mean, the reinforcements are looking good. What matters is how they are going to hold the third floor area. This is where a total things can change or break. 6 seconds on the clock. Hasib Warriors being the attackers and approaching from the external through the first. They have to repel further, and meanwhile through the balcony we see a lot of moves happening already. The first skill might be just around the corner, checking around, And it can be from Fender, most likely. Cryptic has already positioned themselves and doing a quick flank. And from the outer perimeter, I see a big time rappel happening.
They are going for repels, and very interestingly, the Nomad was switched out for the gridlock at the last minute. You have a Flores to burn some of the tricky chaps, maybe to get the Fenrir's out of the way, because you could see Fenrir actually was setting up near that bar area for himself. They do make a cheeky peek hole over here, spot nothing out, the glass gets shattered, so that's knowledge there. Sledge breaks it open with his hammer. They're looking to break over these hatches on the top. That's short work for the shorty over there from the gridlock, but now windows have been opened. He's waiting to see if anybody's going to be peeking out of this door. I don't think that's going to be happening just because we see the map, but it's good to always be aware. There's a drone also on the lookout, so if anyone's looking at the drone, he doesn't have to be just wary of that position. They're going to be knocking as many windows open. A drone gets thrown in. They're scouting out the area over here. Can they actually find anyone near piano? Nobody's actually set up over here, so it's an interesting setup coming from Team Dim here.
Seems as if they want to flush a player to the corner, and that's kind of like becoming successful as well. Cryptic about to fall into the trap. If that's the case, that would be the first kill. And I'll see a C4 in action. That's where I kind of like get excited, shake, and get into trouble. On the other side, Sakib as well prepared for the same. I don't think he knows. Oh, meanwhile, a quick peek. A little bit of intel has been gathered out. Two players sort of might fall over here. Just that the leg shots does not seem to get connected. We got to wait for a moment more, but it's not a lot of time to work with.
But this is what we see. If the mirrors pan out, it's so much easier to take control of this piano area. You don't have to do much. You have so many good, cheeky angles that you can catch out. The Fenrir gets activated. It's going to get destroyed. Was just put up on the sign on the top side. One Fenrir down. Already the count, but only 1 minute left. Okay, there comes the C4 that you were hoping for. Shaiko fan comes in, gets Taha out of the map in round one over here for their side. So that's going to be the ace out of the picture. But he's already done his job. He's opened the holes that he needs to. Not that valuable an agent at this point in the game. But it looks like Zedux has left the game, unfortunately. Just to a DC. It is now a 5v3 in favor of Team Dim. They're walking out. They have to be wary of this white stair window. He's just rappelling upside down. Can he catch out anybody? Shaiko fan has to be very careful. Just biding the time. There's only still 25 seconds on the clock. They have to start making their way in, and that's where Hasib takes the kill onto Tony Play right now. As you can see, they're picking the window. Shaiko fan gets one. He gets two for himself, but he falls onto the gridlocks, and that's the white stair window we were talking about over here, Santa.
That's a big one indeed. That the last one standing goes down just like that in the hands of Electric. That was quite expected as soon as Tony was the one to take care. And with this, the round has went into the name. But what I feel like is this could be a rematch possibly because the player has walked out. So got to see what kind of call is going to be taken for the same. Meanwhile, I see one of the favorite operators that I like a lot. What a no! The moment I said it, the favorite has been taken out. Okay, Jaeger, Fenrir, Doc, Valkyrie, Mute. On the other side, we see Ash, Gridlock, IQ, Blitz. I am scared of IQ, and you know why. So they are going in with 4 players. That's quite interesting, and that's very rare that I have seen.
I would also concur. 4v5 at this stage of the competition is always going to harm, especially you're 1 round down to Team Dim. But I think Hasib boys just took too long to honestly enter the building. They made open angles that they had. They had to take piano at a much earlier stage when they knew it was clear, and they just bided their time, and that just paid out horrible for them. And that Shaiko, nice walk up into there, gets the one in the bathroom, gets one in the hallway. I think Shaiko played that perfectly over there. He's already got 3 kills to his name, 1 death as well, but it's not looking that good for Hasib boys. Let's see what the operators they want to lock in at them. There's a couple of last minute switches happening. They have the Monty, the Nomad, the Ace, and the Capitao, but more importantly, we have a Doc, a Fenrir, and a Jaeger on that side. But now you don't have the IQ. You won't be able to spot out those Valkyrie camps that easily, but that doesn't seem to be the problem. The problem is getting into the building itself.
Yes, that's definitely a problem. And looking at the way the reinforcements have been done, 2 C4s for the play, disallowing the player, kind of like disarming at the same point of time. I can expect a quick check, and meanwhile, another utility not allowing a movement. The peak has been, here comes the big one. Now Taha has to make sure he's there, and there is a shock waiting for the player. The site's been covered. Player very well prepared for the same. It's no more those scenarios where, the moment players used to shield, it would be like counter rotate and this. Right now, look at him, like directly taking a frontal assault. that can be a big time casualty. Ooh, it
And
happened.
then there is the casualty. Fatah gets the kill onto Saki at that point.
Hmm.
Not worried that the unside table. He's maybe trying to fight him out, but now Monty can walk in. Monty's going to spot this person out. Baz
Ooh.
gets the kill onto Cryptip instead. Very quickly. Now this has become a 4v3 from technically a 4v5 in the start of the round. The C4 comes in, goes a bit too behind, but that allows Electric to pick up the kill onto Taha. In the meantime, Hasib gets the trade onto Tony Play. Electric gets another for him. That's Hasib can trade out. It's a 2v2 scenario. You're going to have to break it down. Valkyrie's still on the roam. You can see that she's trying to make her way out. Both the attackers are now grouping up, trying to get this entry from the bakery itself. The walls have been opened up. Can the angles come to their advantage instead? You can see that player Electric is holding his cheeky angle. Where is Shaiko right now? Is Shaiko making 12? Someone gets caught in the nomad. That gives the signal that Shaiko was roaming around. They know that only one person can maximum be on that side. I think they should really need to pressure. It's already still just 1 minute on the clock. If they cast this angle out, that should be it. Baz gets Electric, and Shaiko is now left in no man's land. He's trying to use that gap that was opened up by the attackers from the red stairs instead to maybe get a pick. Still, they are trying to walk their way in. That diffuser is now going down. Can Shaiko actually go for the answer at this point? Baz is looking up, but no, they cancel the diffuser. Instead, the C4 had come out. Can the counterplay come in? Shaiko's looking to walk into side instead from this distraction, and now he's going to come from this side of the side, but he's getting help from the window. Gets the kill onto Baz. Can he get the second? He's already now just a 1v1. It's about who can get this pick out. No, Fatar comes out in top, and the team that started 4v5 actually ends up winning the round.
Yes, and that's a bit of a surprise factor. At the same point of time, do not forget the way Hasib Warriors have totally planned the entire execution. So, in the first round, it was kind of like a surprise sort of situation wherein on the second, they totally outsmarted or maybe, outperformed, I would say. Being 4v5, not that easy. Monte Ash is Capital for the play. Now, again, I'm like surprised that you're going in with 4 players, particularly knowing so that the other team is very well prepared. And where is Xerix? When are you gonna get reconnected? Or is it possible that you get reconnected in the mid?
Yes, it is possible he can get reconnected at this
Oh,
point,
okay.
but I think they had wasted too much time before the actual match started because we had a player that was not connecting. I think they had run out of their pause time pretty much at that point, so that's really the reason they're not taking the break right now. There might be a switch from the Monty to the Blitz at the last minute and from the Capitao to the Gridlock instead, but no, it's going to be the Monty maintain. I like that decision. When a 4v5, a shield is always going to get you so much pressure. It got in the opening frag essentially for Fatar, hang upside down on that breakery entrance. They're going to still go for this 1F side between both these teams. Now it is actually fit. The fenders are getting placed, but I don't see this. I think we need a couple of bit more roamers. They're all getting, kind of turtled into side instead.
A breach about to happen, and yes, through the garage door, not the garage door, my bad. So, meanwhile, on the other side as well, it's a good preparation holding the first floor prep room, also nearby the bakery. Seems as if through the third, it's going to be kind of like an angle that hasn't been tried. So, one death from above and the other clearing away. Oh no, they repelled down. I thought so that it's from the upper floor. Wherein still the execution is in place. No casualties, I believe so, with that explosion. Nothing big as of now. Waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, it's just a pre-placed Nitro Cell at that point. This time, it looks like a Seaboards want to go in from 3F instead. That is where they're going to be making their approach from. And Baz with that ram is going to be creating a lot of havoc from the train room itself. Here you can see a lot of openings coming in. You can walk in from white very easily later on. You're just going to be droning, making sure nothing of variety is coming out. And that's the ram I was talking about, already creating those pressures from the top side. The vertical angles will be coming into play. And they spot out the Monty in the tier 3 and the default cam, especially over there before the default cam could go down. But with these openings, can you actually go for any picks? 2F, 3F has been conquered, but can you actually enter the site this time? Last time it was a success from the picks that you got off, but it's been 1 minute, 25 seconds, no casualties on either side.
Whereas we still can expect a quick kill verticality for the favor from the upper floors. That's a big time damage, and just all that, the traps wins had. While the concussion blast did not do a lot. Meanwhile, you see that Petar is making a play with the AK in hand, has got a couple of very good kills. The smoke in place, slight bit of step. They know for sure a cheeky angle has been covered and is prepared for the same, I believe so. Trying to flush him out of the corner.
They are trying to flush it out. They're using a lot of time on the vertical instead of actually making it to side. Finally, you can see them trying to approach the side from the hallway, that side, from the bar area, if they can actually make an entrance. Doc also has a nice cheeky angle, gets the heal back on to Psycho on this side, but Monty has made his way in from the hatch. Let's see how much he can go, if he can protect his member. Here comes the He actually gets chucked out, forces the change in position. Jaeger has to go for the 1v1, but it's a Monty you're fighting. He gets the guy in behind instead. Baz actually is the casualty in that fight. Electric gets Hasib. Monty now
Swapping mags.
Saki for the play. Saki for the play again. Lovely executions, one after the other. Did not leave any room or chance for the opponents to even take a moment of breath. So here's where, the 4-5 situation is kind of like not going as in, because when it comes to, even a player advantage, it's a player advantage. 1-2 being the score line. Kind of like seeing, not Thunder ban, probably. Got to wait and see. Oh, Valkyrie. No Valkyrie comes in this play. Blitz as well. Taken off. I'm still waiting for ZX.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Alright, so Hasib Warriors versus Team DIM. So far, Team DIM has maintained a good position, and with this, the move that we have been waiting for can occur. So the score could become most likely 1-2-3, and from there, it's going to be a battle that Hasib Warriors have to take it further. Now, got to see how far Hasib Warriors can take it into the game with only 4 players. That's kind of like interesting for sure for me. Now, ZX is the one. They're one of their top fraggers, right along with Baz. Now, since ZX is not there, it's up to Fatah and Hasib to take care of that role. So, got to see if they will be able to, perform the same or not. So, Taha with the diffuser in hand, here's the Monty moving all in. The prior play which they tried from a similar angle did not work it through. So through the ground floors, it may not be an execution that they are waiting for. At the same point of time, on the second and third, on the 2F and 3F, there's a lot of opposition waiting for the same. Particularly 3F is completely covered. So while they make their path through the 2F, through the stairs and all, of course there are the wires and all. So that's going to give out a lot of sound cues. So meanwhile, through the camps, a little bit of detail has been gathered, a bit of reinforcement, but a lot of explosions, and that's been covered as well. So very well prepared for the incoming assault. The outside repellers that might not work as it seems so, and Tony is very well prepared. He has done a lovely 1v1 situation on the prior round, and that has kind of like created a butterfly impact that could continue. Monty might get into trouble. The intel has been relayed, I believe so. Don't see any markers as of now, but the Sterling SMG, that's going to be a big banger. And they know for sure an approach is about to happen. Yes, the utility dump and the grenade that's been taken out as well. The frag didn't make a mark, but the kill about to occur. Just another turn. The sort of gonna go for a counter flag, and is going to be quite interesting. Monty moving all in. Baz took a little bit of damage from the other front, while Monty would be the one to create a little bit of distraction, and they are being quite successful in that matter as well. But Baz taking the damage, that's position revealed. The shield taking a lot of hills, and Hasib meanwhile gets a big kill. That's Sakib off the play. Electric could be the next one, looking at the positions wise, and the side's been covered. 60 seconds on the clock, so they have to make the move as fast as they can. Meanwhile, Sheiko take a little bit of damage. Sorry to say, Fatah as well walking in. Tony was supposed to get the kill, whereas it happened the other way around. Time is of essence, 50 seconds on the clock. Meanwhile, Sheiko makes one more. That's a big number. Down to 3v3. While Baz and Sheiko is low on health, so that can as well create a bit of situation. It's already done. So now how to see if Hasib Warriors would exactly go for the same, going for the diffuser. Meanwhile, Cryptic making big one, Fatar off. Baz low on health, still maintaining a position to cover the player. Monty moves in, very well prepared. Baz counters the play, and Cryptic could get a kill right over here. Monty is very well prepared, and there we go as expected. It's done, delivered. Electric the last, getting the big numbers. One more round goes into the name, and with this, how did you not check the backstab? 1-3 is the score,
Yeah.
and maybe we say 3-1.
Yeah, it is looking like it is a 3-1. Sorry about that, guys. I had a bit of problems, but I am back. And it does look like Team Dim is kind of running away with it. It looks like Hasib Warriors still haven't had their member join up back with them. That's kind of unfortunate. But they
Yep.
still did manage to get one of the rounds when they were 4v5. So at least they're trying to fight back as much as they can. Cafe is kind of a map where you need all those 5 components, right? You need everything that you come with. You brought a Hibana and an Ace right now, so bringing a double reach when you only have 4 men is probably not the kind of play you'd be going for. Now you do have the 1F reading room site, 2F reading room site for them that they are preparing. That can be actually accessed from below and above. But I'm pretty sure the way that Hasib Warriors have been going, they're just going to go for the upper route for themselves. The 0 instead of the Buck and the Bram instead of the Hibana can actually work out for them.
Setting welcome map.
Definitely gonna work out 1-3. Here's the round about to begin, and then the prior round, a similar sort of competition that made a big time difference. What I'm still thinking about is why 4v5, and this is a thought that is not leaving my head. I'm still waiting for ZRX to make it to the play. I'm kind of like waiting for his kills to be taken off. So talking about the same, meanwhile, a lot can occur. I'm expecting 2 quick kills right in the beginning while making the way through. The first one kind of like counted a little bit, so just got to wait for the second.
Yeah, and they're trying to do as much. The vertical, they are trying to get counter for themselves as much as they can. They're trying to actually hold up 33F for them. They don't want to go down. Shaiko takes down Hasib very early into the round. The hatches haven't been opened up. You could see that the Lion was trying to go as fast as possible, but unfortunately met his demise over there. So that's Hasib out of the picture. It's now a 5v3 with 2 minutes left on the clock. How much can you actually do here? Ace is actually going from the basement side, from the 1F angle, if you can actually make their approach. They already have people still left on the roof. You can see that the Rams made his way in with the RC4. Can he actually go? He's actually gone for the hollow instead of the ACOG grip this time, so maybe he can actually get with these close quarter combats for himself. Frost is roaming out. Really love Frost's gun. Does wonders with the ACOG that gets applied to it. But you just have a lot of roamers coming in. No one's catching anything out. Hasib Warriors is honestly just waiting for Team Dim to make a mistake at this point.
And that mistake can make a big time play. Got to see how they're going to capitalize on the same. A little bit of damage about to occur, but that did not make any mark. Tony very well prepared, and on the other front, it's kind of like a time game that's being played, waiting for the other to make a mark. Meanwhile, a bit of YouTube done. That's on the other front. Okay, that's gathering detail. I was like expecting a kill out of it, but not through the utility. Last minute, 60 seconds on the clock. Here's where we normally expect a heavy amount of action. But with 3 players left, that's a lot of damage, and the spike has definitely disallowed him to move further. The pistol is going to make a mark, and there we go, the big one.
They do get the kill onto the Tony player over there from Fatar. Now at least it's a 3v4, a bit of a manageable situation. Make that a 3v3 when Baz picks up Sekim off screen over there. Breaching charges to open up more vertical. Baz gets another one, this time on Cryptic. 3v2 in favor of Hasib. Make that a 3v1. Baz is doing God's work over here inside. A triple kill already picked up for him. Baz is leading the front attack with the DMR of the Twitch right now. The Twitch drone gets spotted out. Baz with the quadra kill, this 4th kill of the round, allows Hasib Warriors to pick up their 2nd round in this matchup.
Interesting indeed. Four players making all the play, and on the other side, a full team. ZRX joined the play, but he waiting for your quick kills that you're known for. So we are gonna watch Buck, Ace, Lion. On the other side, Jaeger, Fender, Doc, Frost, Bandit, and on the last moment, we see a Sledge walking in the picture. So got to see how exactly it's going to work for the team.
Defenders protect
Time and
bombs.
again, all that I'm thinking is, how are you doing it with 4 players? I mean, it's evident on stream. At the same point of time, facing off fire, that's something to look for.
Yeah, you have to go for some miracle plays like what Baz did pretty much there. It was a single man wrecking crew. The entire side of Team Dim was worried about the verticals, and Baz just took sight with the storm. He just went in, had no faults whatsoever. Now the last round of this defensive half for Team Dim. We've gone to the basement. The Valkyrie is also banned alongside the Blitz. So the Monty's only left a shield, and I think they will be bringing this out. The Monty is where they worked wonders bot side for them, at least in this 1F scenario. And the Buck also gets switched out. So interesting composition coming here with Ace Capital and the Monty. Default camps going down. You have Shaiko again. This time he's actually still going to be sticking to the Frost. Cody player has the Bandit. The Bandit, we have any EMPs. We have the electrical secondary weapon from Capital if they really want to be winging this out. But they're going to take it slowly yet again. The bakery door should be being broken down. That's exactly what the Monty is going for. Another upside down rappel. Can they get the same pick? This time I think Team Dim is definitely going to be worried about it.
Got to be worried about for sure. Bars making its way in. Knows for sure that's point not covered. And need to go for a counter movement. That's what's been happening. Meanwhile, looking at the fielding that's been set on Tony, very well prepared. That's electric in play. And that's a shocker. Two on the other side, trying to make their path inside, and the distraction as well working into their name. Tony might just get deleted off the map, whereas it's not that easy as well. It took a little bit of damage, yet not deterred. Position slightly compromised. Meanwhile, Monty again with the shield, making the play.
Yeah, that Bandit cannot go anywhere right now. They're trying to make the holes above, so then another flame can go from there instead. Or no, it's going to be the EMP. They're going to break it down. If you're going to go for it, here comes the Capitao coming in. It's going to not even burn that much onto the Bandit. That's why, because the Bandit has backed away. But this is where you want to start opening this up. No, Bandit is still sitting there. The flames of Capitao actually did not actually get any ticks of HP damage onto him. Maybe just slightly so. And Bandit is going to be making this corner his home right now. He is not going to be leaving it well to fight. Oh, a nice angle. But Bandit actually comes to the defense of Doc, picks up the kill onto the Monty. Now your shield is down, but the Capitao has walked in, picks up a double kill instead. Cryptic goes down, but it gets traded out by Sekib. It's a 3v2 in favor of Team Dim right now, and you can see that they have to reassess the situation. The upside down repel is still going on from the Ace. He's trying to maybe grasp any straws that can be there for him. 1 minute left on the clock as these teams try to make their final moves.
If I'm Hasib Warriors, I'll be looking forward for Shaiko to make the play. And talking about it, Sekib gets the big one. I thought so it's Shaiko who would get the kill. Particularly the Sterling SMG is something not to meddle with a lot of firepower, though it's a very old weapon on the play. At the same point, I'm talking about the World War genre from where this has been picked up. Now, Baz, the last one standing with a Glock in hand, the sidearm. Have to see if it's like too sneaky just around the wall. Both the players playing the time. Now the intel is relayed. The marker is in play. Both are trying to flush him off the corner. And it's a crossfire situation created. Baz about to walk in directly between two players. It's a lot of firepower. Actually make it 3. Electric is well prepared. Look how Sheikh has presented himself. And it's Shaiko on the other side making a counter play. The gas in position. Baz taking a lot of damage. Attempted but heavily denied by all 3. What can you do when you're covered from all 3 angles? No amount of utilities or anything cannot defend. Oh, Hasib Warriors now on the defensive end. 2-2-4 is the score.
Yeah, and I think that Fenrir played a huge part. It took so long actually for Baz to find out where the Fenrir is. He got hit by it twice before he could finally actually get it, and the time does run out by that point, right? I thought Baz might actually make a miracle. He almost got that pre-fire on the guy who was in that deployable shield, but unfortunately could not. But now see, Warriors aren't defensive. It's harder to defend when it's 4v5, honestly, at this point. The Mira Ace gets banned out. Also interesting, they did not ban out the Ace from the side of Team Dim when they're on the defensive, and that also prove hard for them later because a lot of angles open up. The Flores get banned, or do like the Flores ban as well as the Zombie ban. So pretty standard bans coming around from them, and I think they're trying to maybe just rush the site at this point, unless they want to take it slowly. With the Finka, I'm assuming, with the Zofia and Finka, I'm assuming they're going to rush, especially they have an Ash and Ayana. This is definitely them just rushing site here.
At the same time, I'm interested to see Warden and Valkyrie together. That's a competition that I have been looking forward to. You have your cams on one side, but again, from the defensive end. So yes, a lot of flashbangs can be covered, and Iana on the other side has to be looked forward for. Again, I'm surprised. Hasib Warriors are only
Bomb
going
located
with
by
4
attackers.
players in, and that's like a play that they are waiting. Maybe they are testing out this competition with only 4 players, not to work with. The team is very well capable for the same. We have seen Baz and
Mhm.
Fatah doing some crazy, crazy stuff right along with Hasib,
10 seconds
getting
remaining.
the kills. And as a surprise factor, Taho
5
walks
seconds
in
left.
with a bang a lot of times. While today, the numbers are not in favor for him. Bars with 8, that's a big one, 5 each for Fatah and Hasib. And on the other side, the big ones have went for Sheiko with 7 and 5 for Sakib.
Yeah, Shaiko fan doing work, trying to live up to his namesake at that point. But I've never seen Shaiko play a gridlock to save his life. But Shaiko fan is making up for what his team needs, and they need that backstab. So he's brought out the gridlock, while the rest of his team might be just looking for the rush, honestly. They're still going to take it cautiously, even though they have the operators that are essentially for the rush. I would have just gone in from 1F and just rushed up all the way. And that's exactly what Zofia is trying to maybe do. No, she's just waiting outside the white window of the white stairs right here. And you can see Hasib Warriors, they do have the Valkyrie, you have the placements, you have the Rumi to give you the heals time and time again. The castle not going to be helping out that much, I think. With the Mira band, you can just open up angles, you can do a lot in this situation, and in a 4v5, they're just going to scramble. Team Dim just honestly just biding their time, taking it as slow as possible, trying to get as much info and recon as they can.
Info, recon, all put together, you'll make a beautiful play to happen. So now that Team Tim is the attackers, let's see how their approach would be from the defenders. They did a very good job. 4 victories into their name, and 5th one is right around the corner. In case Hasib Warriors are kind of like falling short. So 2 repellers, but the first one goes down in the name of Baz. That's a big one, but he took a lot of damage on that pursuit. So got to be really cautious. Just a graze of bullet, or even a little bit of more explosion next door, and a big one while happening. So that was kind of like a distraction factor, and it worked totally for the team.
It did work out, and now it's a 2v2 essentially at this point, because Valkyrie is now getting HP back up. Now makes it more of a 3v2, but you can see they're holding that angle. They want the peaks coming. They're still not worried about Piano. They've not cleared every single angle. They're going to be walking in to the hands of Hasib, who picks up the kill onto Cryptic, gets traded out by Shaiko Fan over this side. Now it's Shaiko Fan in a 1v2 as the gridlock. He has the traps that actually deter people from moving in certain places. Has to bob and weave his way into the side. He's trying to catch out one member here near the A-bomb side. Can he actually get it? No. Bars from around the corner on the Valkyrie. A nice crossfire setup, and this is exactly how you want to be playing a 2v1.
Fabulously executed, the amazing plan of action, and that worked totally in the favor of Hasib Warriors, who have been going all in with 4-2 against the 5 players make. Now on this particular round, we are gonna walk in with Goyo, Thunderbird, Capcan. On the other side, we have Grim, Finka, Ash, and again Monty. Fenrir for the play. Gridlock walks in as a change. So have to see if the 4-4, the equalizing scenario would occur or not. And if that happens, Hasib Warriors will definitely make it a big stand. Being the defenders, we have seen them do one more thing. I'll reiterate the fact that whenever I've seen Hasib Warriors being from the defenders, I don't really feel like they are the defenders. They kind of like play like an attacker.
They do. I really like their playstyle. They neutralized those numbers earlier on, and this has to be said, it's a 4v5, and they're almost on equal footing with Team Din. So if they're the first member, this could have been a completely different scenario going into this. But the side that has been chosen is 2F reading room coming in for the side of defenders. Hasib does lock it in. They have the Goyo. The Kapkan was waiting for a lot of drones getting pushed up from the 1F. That's why he was just on drone hunting duty in the beginning of the round. Now is actually placing down his Kapkans. And a good point, because now less time we will be droning in the default stage instead. Windows will be breaking down. That's still being very cautious from Team Dim. If I was Team Dim, I would be flowing with a bit more arrogance and trying to just try and delete these sites. Maybe just take fast control, drone early on, keep them placed defaults, just take that space early so that Hasib Warriors can't reclaim it at an earlier point. And Hasib Warriors are actually, divided, because you only have 2 people here or 3 people here roaming on the top side. So that leaves side almost completely wide open.
That has to be covered as early as possible, because a big one can make a mark. Now, on the other side, talking about Hasib Warriors, they're very well prepared. Now, looking at the play style, that could have been a fatal play wherein was well prepared, I believe so. Knows the corners, knows the map. Now, Electric is walking with a very big banger. I'm expecting couple of quick kills from the same. The move in, Tony plays very well prepared, I believe so. Meanwhile, they find an corner, I mean to say. The trap was set already. And it is going to shuffle a little bit. Electric with the banger. I expected it, but that was with the weapon and not with the utility, not with the grenade. Meanwhile, a crossfire situation, player about to take a lot of damage. No exchange right here, no connections.
But they have to recognize that there are more people here roaming, not just this dude at this point with the Goyo, right? It was a nice pickup with the nade onto the man at piano, but how much can you proceed after? Now with the 5v3 scenario, they have the numbers advantage firmly in this situation, and this is where the IQ comes in clutch for these Capcan traps. You're going to be deleting that out of the existence if you play your IQ properly. A lot of crossfire coming in. You can see this side, Shaco fans are going to be making his way in, but Tao catches out Electric. Shaiko actually trades onto Fatar. Taho gets another onto Shaiko as well, and he's doing a lot of work in this top side. Pretty much a one-man army. It's a 2v2 scenario. Unfortunately, Taho did not peek that corner the way he wanted, but the Goyo does. Baz gets the trade. He knows someone's outside this white window. He has an inkling about it. He's hearing the rappel sound. Window gets popped this side. He's maybe going to take his time before he goes for the zig, but I think that was just more of a distraction, honestly. The flash comes in. He's going to rappel into this window. He's flashed out. He knows he has to maybe jump down from the hatch. Exactly. Nice repositioning coming out from Baz over here, holding a very nice tight angle. Shakib has so many angles to actually clear at this point, and I think what Baz is doing is exceptional, and that's exactly it pays dividends. That was such a nice angle held from him. You can't even clear it fully. It was half cleared by Shakib, and Baz takes complete advantage of that.
So it's the rate of fire against a weapon of a formidable choice. Vector has always surprised me, and on the hands of the right player, it becomes even deadlier. That's a lot of fire rate to work with. So that's where it kind of like turns things around. Now we have Valkyrie, Dog, Thunderbird, and Frost in play. Let's see how Hasib Warriors are going to take it to the next step. And we already spoken about the 4-4 situation, the equalizers that's there. Now what I want to see is, will this become like a 5-5?
This could very possibly become a 5-5, but Hasib Warriors, they are not playing like they have a man disadvantage. They are playing like they are the ones with the man advantage, honestly, coming into this. Made it the 4v4, like we said. They have made it equal between them. And I think Team Dim, honestly, they got those nice picks, but they are not that coordinated later. I think when you get those picks like that, and they are feeling so much pressure on the 3F, you just head to 2F, you get your plant down, you go for those instead. But no, they're just still worried about those vertical holes above. They have to just get to maybe a plant side where they're not going to be pressured like that. But now the defending side is going to be this 1F area for them. This is the kitchen that people really like to cook up in. Let's see what Hasib Warriors have in store for us.
It has to be a proper plan and execution that needs to go all in. All 5 players coordinated attack is what is needed for the 5-4 to happen. Because the way Hasib Warriors have been defending, again, I'll be just repeating myself if I say that, they don't seem like a team that is playing from the defenders. It always seems to me like it's attack, and that's what we are here for. We need more seize action. And talking about action, a 3K coming in from Hasib. Did you just turn to Hulk all of a sudden? Taking in with Sterling. See, that's why I said that, the Sterling SMG is like a deadly weapon. And the second one goes for Vector, obviously, or maybe, Vector first and then Sterling SMG. Meanwhile, a self-explosion and a team kill. I wanted the C4 on your opponents and not on your team.
He's like, no, let's equalize it for them. Let's make it even as possible, okay? Taha is honestly feeling a lot of brunt of what his team is telling him. Fatar has some very nice choice words for him right now. But the situation still stands. Hasib Warriors is 3-man to just the 1-man of Team Dim. And Hasib, with that run out, gets a triple kill. Doesn't even get punished, honestly. Doesn't even go down. Gets back to safety. Gets healed up by the dog. And now the Grim is in a very grim situation. Where do you actually go as a Grim at this point. You don't have much info. You just have to pre-fire sync every single angle you're walking into. That's what he is attempting. But the noise is coming in for the players. Sakib might just go down right now, but no. Very smartly by Hasib, he does not want to give any more man advantage to that side. He's just going to keep it 3v1. He knows that Sakib, anywhere he enters, he's going to get punished. He's just going to hold an off angle on that window. He has some cover fire. You can hear this door getting broken down right now. That should give England where Sakib is roaming. 50 seconds left on the clock for this Grim to make any move. He's just honestly pre-firing everything. Almost gets the head of the Frost. But it's Hasib coming in with a 4K for himself, as well as another round for Hasib Warriors, being 4v5 throughout most of this competition.
And do not forget, now Hasib Warriors are the one who have picked the map of Cafe Dostoevsky. So here is a reason. Now they know every angle, they know the map very well. They know where to approach from, where to back out, how to cover an area, and to take it a step further. We'll talk more about it. Meanwhile, Monty and Fenrir have been banned, so no more Fenrir play. Fenrir has been utilized a lot, I have seen from Hasib Warriors, and they made the best out of it. So, is it Dog? Is it Valkyrie? Confusion. Don't change back to Dog. Mastro for the play. So, Mastro, Valkyrie, Thunderbird, and Castle. But again, as soon as we see it can be go back to Dog. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just going to keep the Thunderbird. Honestly, you have a lot of cameras with the Maestro and the Valkyrie, but who's going to be watching them during people actually rushing in? You don't have anyone who's going to be default on side. You're already a man down, so who's actually going to be giving the info to the roamers is going to be the question. I think the roamers themselves are going to have to be checking the cams for them, and now they have taken bar and cocktail lounge for themselves on the top side. This is still honestly a hard side to defend, but it's easier to turtle up over here, deny a lot of utility. You're just going to put down cameras here, there, and maybe try and get a cheeky, pre-play C4 kill, or even then at the same time get the C4 kill for himself. That's where Baz has to come in through, get at least maybe one off it, maybe try and get some numbers equal for them. But Sea Warriors are looking like a team that does not honestly need a fifth player at this point.
That is true. That is definitely true. And you see the confident play, the actions that they have been performing and outperforming their opponents a lot of times. None of the plans from Team Dim is working for the opposition is what I wanted. Why did I fumble? Again, I'm still, I'm not able to wrap my head around that, with 4 players in Cafe Dostoevsky, particularly, you have a lot of ground to cover, 3 floors to work with, and being the defenders, they are doing a very good job covering every corner.
They are doing an excellent job covering every single corner. And now you have a castle, you're trying to break down some walls. Now the Florist Road is not available. So you're going to have to manually be breaking these down, or with the Ash or Zofia charges everywhere you pursue. But that's the Maestro long range LMG for him. He can actually mow down a lot of people in a row. Drones now being thrown by Ayana before she throws her own Ayana drone to go into the window. You're trying to make every single window broken open on this 3F. So, Hasib Warriors have to be careful of every single opportunity or every single angle that they can actually get picked off from. And it's a nice hatch open up. You can drop here as a room if you want. Look who's trying to be sneaky on the stairs. It's Baz who's just going to be maintaining the white stairs formality for him. He's going to be taking that high ground for himself, and you're just trying to catch out people on this window. He's not upside down repel. If you can make this out for yourself, you can actually maybe get a pick. Hasib, if he holds the correct angle, could do a much, but Fatar actually catches out the Shaiko fan. The gridlock is no longer there, but Tony gets a trade onto Taha. Hasib gets another onto Shakib on that window that we were looking for. Fatar gets another onto Tony. So now Hasib Warriors yet again with the man advantage that they traditionally do not start a round off with default.
Yes, and it seems as if, all 5 are there. I mean, evidently it's one man list, but does not bother them anymore. They're going all in and with full confidence. It's a 3v2 play, wherein what I feel like, Team Dim does has a plan for the same. It's a 2v3, of course, and the LMG is the converting factor. On the other side, walking straight in, Fatah has a very good angle. Oh no, here's the one to take down. Kreptek got the best out of this mark. Hasib on the other front, finding it slightly low on health. It's a troublesome matter.
Yeah, but there's no more
Oh,
assets to take down the Maestro. Baz gets the kill onto Cryptic. It's a 2v1. How much can the Finka do? The Finka boost has used, but you are going to go down low. Finka's trying to reassess the situation. The Maestro scam is still up there, just pinging where the Finka is at every single time. He's trying to go for the fight. He's trying to fire angles. But the spray is not enough. Baz with a nice headshot rounds out this and puts them on map point for Hasib Warriors in a 4v5.
map point it is, and it will be taken further. Whenever you see Hasib Warriors are at the map point situation, they never back off. And why not? They are the one who picked the map. And of course, whenever you see that a team has particularly picked a map, certainly in a play like this, and are walking in with 4v5. Like, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, like Kukadu is saying that 4v5, 4v5. I cannot take it further. It's like a total confidence package, and I'm loving it for sure. So let's see, 6-2-4. Team Dim, what do you have in store for us? Can you go and grab those 2 victories?
Yeah, can you actually take us to overtime essentially in this scenario? Baz is come with a Mozzie. We haven't seen a Mozzie in play throughout the entire map. Baz is going to be switching it up. Taha is actually going to be taking over Valkyrie duties instead. I like the Kapkan getting placed in. If Team Dim doesn't do their due diligence, they can get caught out. But they do have an IQ. They can spot out these Kapkan traps if they want to. But 2 C4s actually available to C4s. Maybe that's also the reason a bit for the Monty switch up. You're gonna get drones, but you do also have C4s to catch out people from the basement. Actually get people who are trying to make vertical holes on 3F. How much actually control do Hasib Warriors have of 3F? Because I can only actually see one person, actually maybe even 2 people roaming there right now.
That can make a difference because 2 can delete at least one, is what I'm expecting out of my head. Maybe I might be wrong in that matter. Alright, the round begins and here we go. Hasib Warriors very well prepared. Fatah definitely a very good angle, is prepared, knows for sure. 2 are walking in and he is very well prepared, ready for the same. C4 in action, that 2-2, one in the hands of Tahi and the other Baz moving in there, setting the trap. This is what I like. And slowly Team Dim is walking into it. If they are very well prepared, it can turn to a 6-5. Otherwise, the map victors, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see them trying to make it in easily over. They finally do drop down from the red hatch over that side. They're walking into Cigar. Can they catch anybody out? Hasib has to be careful. There's a guy on white rappel. If he goes down, that's why he's holding that window. Very nicely played by Hasib. He's been pretty much one of their star players alongside Baz for majority of the kills coming in. They can't get the bulletproof camera. It hasn't been neutralized as of yet. Can they get someone in bathroom? Bathroom's holding the angle slightly above the head level. If he lowers it down, he can maybe get someone crouching in or walking in. There, they use the nade. They get the bulletproof camera at least. No, actually, it's still alive. They honestly did get the way they wanted to. On this side, Sakib is creating a lot of distraction with the buck. And now that leaves Millie and get the bulletproof camera. But are they aware someone is just sitting in bathroom just around the corner? The Kapkan has been very patient. And now you can see Taha breaks down. He actually creates a distraction. Hasib takes full utilization of it, gets 2 quick headshots, gets electric, gets Cryptic out of this round, and now it is a 5v3. Sorry, it's not even a 5v3, it was a 4v3. Now it's a 4v2, a triple kill for Hasib, almost reminiscent of what he did on that Frost. He's going for more. Both him and Baz are sitting on 15 kills. Who's going to end this map with more? Run Valkyrie, very cheeky, and Taha pays out for his risk that he took out there.
Risk that has to work with Chico moving and we're in no chance of standing against Hasib himself. A big one, a big victory. How did you do it with 4 players? I need to ask it when I get a chance to talk to the team, particularly with Zedix. Buddy, I missed your play. At the same point of time, the team has done it. Kudos, a very well-deserved victory. And Hasib Warriors are known to do this stuff. So that's the first match of the best of 3 series. We still have 2 more maps. So Team Dim definitely has an answer for this, I believe so.
Could be, but this is gonna help, hurt the ego and mental of Team Dim. Like losing a 4v5 is always something very hard to recover, especially at this stage
Yep.
in a competition, at this high level of play. Honestly, did not work around. I think Team Dim also did, mess up a couple of their attack halves where they're just not going in at the correct time and how they wanted to actually execute. And Hasib Warriors in the defense was just taking the fight to them. Essentially, they were proving on that they don't need their fifth member. They were like, yo, you can take a relax, you can take a chill pill, we'll take this over, we'll take you to map 2, be sure to be ready for that. But this is definitely going to hurt any chance of Team Dim coming back to this scenario, because a 4 versus 5 defeat is going to honestly hurt your ego quite a bit.
They got to keep the mental play aside for a moment, and that's when you can go for the next step. If you're just stuck at that position, just like how I was stuck at the position that 4v5, 4v5, come on. I could have it. All right. Anyways, the play that we saw, it's definitely to be remembered, particularly in Cafe Dostoevsky. I don't think I can ever forget this particular game. And with LMG, Electric has definitely worked a lot, tried his best of the best. At the same point of time, when you're facing off players like Hasib himself, then Baz walking in with a lot of bangers, a lot of time. Now, if Baz and Hasib are taken down, immediately Fatar and Taha were the one to contribute and then take the game to the next stage. This is where Hasib Warriors kind of like completely succeeded a lot of times. Let it be the utilities, let it be any deterring factors, they never backed off. And particularly with this side arm kill, the verticality working in the favor, oh my goodness, man, that itself showcases how well they are prepared for the map.
They are, but I like even in attack when it's 45, they bring in the Monty a bunch of times. That also helps them out. Baz, I think, was very, very, important in their attack round, especially that round where you saw just get that triple kill. I think he did multiple. I think on the opposite spectrum, in the defense, Hasib pretty much pulled out all the stops. That run out with the Frost is insane. Not something you're expecting, especially if you're Team Dim, because they had 3 people fall down. Hasib gets away from the action as well, gets healed up by the dock, and oh my god, I think Hasib Warriors have definitely come here to play.
And with the Sterling SMG getting that 4K, particularly 3 kills, one after the other, like, okay, give a breathing space to the opponents. I mean, I know for sure you're kind of like creating a mental block to the opponent player so that your second map is kind of like working into your name, particularly because the second map was picked by Team Dim, that is Border. So it's kind of like, Hasib Warriors are making a path to the second map right from Cafe Dostoevsky. At the same point of time, from all of the tournaments and from all of the plays that I have seen of Hasib Warriors, I know for sure they are pretty confident with Border as well.
Yeah, I think they're confident. These are the maps that pretty much all the old players are going to be comfortable on. Maybe Nighthaven and Lair are the ones that you don't want to look out for, especially they have very, very weird angles, honestly, in my opinion. A couple of the maps that I don't like that Rainbow has come up with. But these maps like Border, I think has been through time again, like tested so many times. I think it's become a lot of default about like what you do. Creativity on that map is very hard to come by, but if you do manage to find some creative avenues, it can actually help out quite a bit. But yeah, Hasib Warriors are going to be heading into game to 1-0 up in the series, 4-5 beat at which they won at well, and Team Dim have taken quite a beating, but it's left to see if they can recover, because honestly good teams, or like the teams that really want to compete, are teams that can recover, especially from a scenario like this.
Recover. Oh, that's looking forward for. See how Fatah has angled himself up, and with that got the best out of the situation. And time and again, this is where Baz kind of like rose up to the situation. At this juncture, he had 14 to his name. Hasib was with 12. And this was like creating that moment of space, while Electric was like so zoomed in. I mean, to say locked in with the LMG. And I was like quite confident he would take Hasib out while Baz would be the one to get the final. But it's been covered. And this was another cheeky play. While it's been covered around the corner, I thought so that it could be like a shot to cover, wherein they took it head on, Hasib getting the 2K. And followed up by another 2 more. That was the third. Oh, this is the 4K play. So he did it twice through the entire map.
He did do it twice. He got nice hits. I really like what Valkyrie does for him before jumping off crates. Disarm like that. She's the only person there who falls out, and it allows the Capcom to sneak up, get those kills. I think with this scoreboard, I think the main thing is to look at Xerox 0-0, right? Hasn't had anything
Never.
impact on this game, but his team ends up winning out. You can see Hasib actually gets the most kills in the game, 16, just barely edging out Baz by 1 kill to his name. But I think the entire team did very good to group up in that scenario. And from the side of Team Dim, nobody's in the positive KD. Tony Plays honestly had pretty much one of the worst games I could say in this scenario, but honestly it was more of the team synergy that was not sitting down in some of the the plays they were bringing up.
I have to agree on that. Shaiko fan is the one who attempted the best he could. Whereas, in games, in C's X, it's all about the team play. Everyone has to contribute. So that's where Hasib Warriors kind of like had the upper hand and they totally dominated the situation. While Cryptic, Tony Plays Electric several times as a matter of fact, and then Sekib him. They attempted for the best way possible right along with Shaiko. I won't say that they kind of like gave up or anything. So they did try. Wherein Cafe Dostoevsky was not their map, and you know what? Sometimes it is so that it's just not your day as well.
Yes,
I mean, I'm sorry, it's only the first map, and I shouldn't have said that.
Hey, maybe not just the day, maybe just not their game, maybe just not that map for them, right? Like as they move on, like this is a best of 3, like we've been talking about. You're gonna have more opportunities come in, but more importantly, this is single elimination. If you do end up losing this best of 3, you are unfortunately out of the running to actually win this cup. And Team Dim honestly have to make some improvements going into game 2. Think about some things that game 1 went through. You have to play maybe the attack part a bit more aggressive, maybe try and match fire and fire compared to what Hasib Warriors pull out, because they like to make these aggro plays. Maybe put some claymores down, maybe actually look out for these runouts, have some cameras placed during the prep phase for these kind of runouts.
Interesting. So we got to wait and see if they are able to, get this composition done and then make it actually a little better than what's been done so far. I'm not saying that, they have not yet at the same point of time. A lot of times what I felt as if, misses have happened, and that happens. In competitive play, it's like quite common scenario. That you get into the groove of the game and the game kind of like presents you more challenges that you haven't expected.
And I think one of the funny moments was, Taha just blowing up with his own C4 over there, just trying to neutralize
yes.
numbers. I think that was
Team
a very
kill.
nice point over there. Team kill, especially when you're in a 4v5 and you've neutralized their numbers 2 or 3 versus 1. You're like, no, it's okay. Let's just take this guy out of the picture. Let's just help the opponents out at this point. But I think, honestly, Hasib Warriors are going to be brimming with confidence at this point because of how it goes out. But with that being said, guys, we're going to take a very short break before we resume action with map number 2. Guys, welcome back to the Siege X Community Cup. This is season 4. It's me, Manus, alongside Santa for our map number 2, honestly, over here at the semifinals. If you did miss out map 1, you were in for a treat because that was a 4v5, which the team which had 4 members, the Hasib Warriors, did end up winning it.
And that's a big win. And that's a big win. A lot of play happened, a lot of game happened. Things happened that I did not expect, particularly Hasib with those 4Ks twice. Alright, so this is the map and the game that we have spoken about that went 7-4. Very interestingly, with a 4-man squad. Now, Team Dim has picked border. Now in border you have a lot of surprises, a lot of areas to cover with, and that we will see while the map is happening. And let's say in case if Team Dim wins border, then we will be looking forward for the decider that's going to be in the Night Haven Slam. A lot can happen over there.
Yeah, and most importantly, Hasib Warriors Cafe was their pick, right? So let's see what Team Dim can do with their own pick right here. Maybe they can turn the tides, take us all the way to that ultimate, map 3 of Night Haven Labs. But without further ado, we'll be jumping in to the veto stage over here. Monty and Kai are going to be the first victims coming in to this round 1 between these two teams. What else are you going to look? If you're banning out the Kai, might as well be banning out a bit of the bandit, get all the electrics out, or you can go other routes. And more importantly, Hasib Warriors is going to be on the defensive. So let's expect some explosive plays coming out for them.
Oh yes, let's be that explosive play. Let there be a lot of C4s. Ace and Valkyrie are off, so not a lot of cam that I would expect out of. Whereas Azami Frost changed by Mira, now joined by Solace. That's interesting. Castle in. On the other side, you'll see Thermite, Finka, Hibana, Iana, and Nomad. So Thunderbird joins the lineup. Hibana and Iana together, that is quite interesting, joined by Nomad. So these 3 ladies are like quite a deadly composition. What I'm interested is how Solace is going to face this off.
True. Also, you've not honestly bought a lot to fight against the mirror. Like, how are you going to open it up? You don't have a Twitch. You do have the Hibana if you want to go for those plays. And there is no electric on the side of Hasib Warrior. So that Hibana play could be good. But if they switch it out, that could be a bit detrimental to their comp. They're maybe kind of pondering, maybe even bring a Grim to flash out people behind that half wall. It's always good here. If you see the mirror, you pretty much know where the mirror setups are going to be, and you can play according to that. But no Ace on the picture does, warrant a Hibana definitely coming in for the favor of Team Dim over here. Let's see if they do make the switch. No, it's the Thermite that they stick to. So honestly, don't see how they are going to be trying to get past this mirror.
Not going to be easy for sure. So it has to be a lot of teamwork. And talking about the teamwork, guys, we do have Xerox back in action. He was missing on the prior round. Good to see him in. Sorry, I'm saying the name incorrectly. Is it Tahalolo? So Tahalolo Fatar pass Hasib, and Hasib, oh my goodness, with the Sterling SMG on the prior map has annihilated the opponent. So facing them off, we have Sheko fan joined by Tony and talking about Z-Ducks beginning it on an electrifying play. That's Electric who went on, did not expect the spawn. Peak would be that costly for the player, and that is has opened up a lot of possibilities. We are going in, and I'm expecting a couple more that happens from Fatah going all in over Cryptic. Tony play and Jaco fan has to get a grip of the situation, but Hasib and Z-Ducks are all over them. Tony plus meanwhile walks in. A fatal play over Fatah at the same point of time, knows for sure a counter is needed, and this can open up much more.
He uses the Gaunt, breaks open the barrier, jumps into the window, but no, that was the castle following it down from this side, from the stairs, catches out Tony with his back showing to him, takes the kill. But this was Hasib showing you how action-packed they can be in the defensive side. They're not even going to let you enter the building. They're going to kill you from inside to the out, pretty much at that scenario. They don't even care about it going into this, and Team did even then would have had a hard time breaking in, even if this Prowse was in there, because you didn't have actually anything to get away with the mirror. But now with 2F secured as their pick. They did take that out now for round 2. It's going to be Hasib Warriors going downside.
Though I normally try to, contain myself to say what I'm about to say, but in border, particularly, whenever I see such sort of action, I kind of reminds me of the 92 flick border. Again, I'm not relating this to that, me being a big time movie buff, don't mind me, but the action was way too much to handle, and Hasib Warriors kind of like gave an indication with that. You have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Now, remember the team Dim has picked up the map.
5
But
seconds remaining.
again, Hasib Warriors, are you really the defenders over here?
Yeah, that's also a good point. But I like the spicy pick coming in for Hasib himself. He's brought out the Caveira right here. Let's
Yeah.
see how many interrogations we get to see. This time they're going to be bringing in the Ivana. They have to open those hatches from above. And well, the K, there's not going to be any electric to prevent it. And the Bandit has now been bought in from Hasib Warriors for the downstairs part or for the reinforce on top. And they're already making those cheeky peek holes. You can see them trying to maybe catch out any of these attackers that are found slacking. Zedux is going to be on the stairs. He was the guy who got the opening pick in round number 1 with him being back into the action given that he was missing in the 4v5 in the previous map. But as of yet, nothing actually ended up going down. Diffuser is going to be changing hands between Team Den. The drones coming. Are they going to be spotting out the cap? He's being very sneaky over there, hiding underneath the desk. Gets up and instantly gets taken out. But Taha picks up 2 very quick kills in succession. Gets traded out by Electric, mixing a 3v3. Electric was going for more, but Baz denies that opportunity. Baz is like, no, we're going to bring numbers advantage back. Patar adds to that as well. 3v1 for Hasib Warriors. All that is left is Cryptic on the Hibana. How much can this guy do? He does get 1 kill onto Zedux, but now his position has been revealed. Spams are coming across the wall. No wall bangs do connect. Both these players from Hasib Warriors want to narrow this one out. The aggression this time short, but gets answered. But Baz gets the ultimate kill of the round. Secures yet another round for Hasib Warriors.
That's a lot for the play, and lot indeed it is. They made it. They made it happen. Now, if I say this, I'll be getting into trouble, and it would be like a biased opinion. Wherein Hasib Warriors are all in. They have come prepared. They did their homework against Team Dim. And that's like quite evident in the play. A lot of confidence. We saw a 4v5 play. And now that the entire team is in, and Zedux walking in with a lot of energy, that has already worked a lot of times. Seen it in the prior tournament, seeing it right now, live in action. 2-0 on the board. Now what I want to see is equalizing scenario. So Team Dim, when can we get that too?
This should be the best side. This is pretty much their offside from the side of Hasib Warriors because this is the third side they've chosen. This would be the best opportunity, honestly, for Team Din to make their mark in this map, get some numbers for themselves. But just talking about the operators coming in, it looks like it's a fuse going to be changed for the Nomad. But then what do you have for the backstab? You're going to have to be in a Bridlock or someone else has to switch on the Nomad on the other. But talking about defenders, we have a Legion, good roamer. The Zedux we already see does like to roam. So this is definitely one of the opportunities you'd like to go for. The Mines gives so much vital information. Taha definitely has the solace for him. Hasib has gone for the healer role with the Doc, with the long range ACOG for himself. But the round has started. We don't have any backstab watchers for Team Dim though.
That needs to be checked for, that needs to be careful about, and I'm sure that the necessary plan is in place. I'm talking about the defense and talking about the same. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Taha very well prepared, and V90 has made a big time mark on the prior round. And I like the weapon skin. Sorry to say, I kind of like go for the weapon skins a lot of times. So got to see how this is going to occur. They are making a big time breach, kind of like a counter, and also seems as if they are laying a trap for the player, and it worked. Taha falls down. Unfortunately, Baz is the one to take care of Sheiko. That's a big one. On the other side, sorry, that is Sakib who's been taken out. Sheiko fan is still intact. It's a 3v4 wherein Baz is solo. So I'm kind of like counting him out.
No, but he can get healed by the dog. But no, unfortunately, the dog goes away and Baz has been knocked down. Baz might be just no longer for the world right here. The default camp gets shot very low later on into the round. The Claymore has been set up by Electric. Nobody has picked up Baz. Baz ends up going down to Shaiko Fan, but Ash walks in. Ash claims yet another kill. A triple kill for Electric. Finish off the down player with the pistol. Electric's trying to walk in. Only Zedux left alive, and Zedux is no more as well. The R4C making quick work of the Legion for the quadra kill coming in for this man.
I really like how the way they have coordinated the entire attack, flushing out one from a corner and then immediately connecting the same. So this is something that I have been looking forward for, and Team Dim has really executed it perfectly, and we asked for it. So the first one is on the board. Meanwhile, Ash and Fenrir have been taken off the mark. So I'm kind of like expecting a 2-2 to occur right in this juncture. No Doc. That's interesting. Okay, Capcan Thunderbird Smoke. On the other side, we have Iana, Nomad, Hibana again. So is it Solace that's going to walk in? No, that is Azami. So here we have Sophia and Grim. So that's going to be interesting, but I'm like slightly skeptical to the competition. Got to see how the team is going to make it work.
And more interesting this time, when they go back to 2F, they're not bringing out their comp, they're not bringing out the Mira, they're changing it up slightly whatsoever, and the Hibana has been brought in just in case the Mira was there, honestly, at this point. But that's what I was talking about. That last third round is the best time Team Dim can come back, and now they're actually matching their aggression. Electric going crazy in that round is 6-2-0, and he's leading the charge from in front with that Ash. Does so many trades, never going down, gets the ultimate kill in the round. I think this is what Team Dim needs. They have to start matching the aggression. You can't let Hasib Warriors dictate the pace of this matchup.
10 seconds left before.
That's definitely to be looked forward for. So far, it definitely has, Hasib Warriors, they know the maps, they know the corners. They have been there in the scenario from quite some time. So whenever they are approaching an angle, it's like quite certain that the kills will for sure happen. Yes, of course, if Team Dim is very well prepared and has anticipated the approach perfectly, got a counter in position, that's where things can turn around. Otherwise, it's like a total domination play that we are watching. At the same point of time, Team Dim has surprised us a lot of times, and I'm expecting couple more of those on this map. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Here comes the opening reinforcements. Oh no, it's not yet reinforced, but the player is very well prepared. So if there are like an opposition that's been worked for, or maybe a flashbang that can chucked out, or maybe a C, do we have C4s? No C4s. So only Claymores to work with, but the first one has been already been taken out. The second one just can fall down. It's a 4v4. Electric is in slightly trouble. Cancel that. Feta says no to it. So it's all up to 20 plus Cryptic, and it's the duo that's left out. Taha with the shotgun. Oh my goodness, it's a complete annihilation. Sorry to say, Team Dim, wherein it feels as if you're not prepared. Ooh. But Cryptic says, Santa, we are prepared. But before I could complete the sentence, Hasib says, no matter what kind of preparations you walk in with, the moment you're trying to vault, and we are going to send you back.
Yeah, and the first fight of this round started with pretty much a trade. Each versus Rizyax versus Sakib. They got each other down out of it. But I like the strategy of using the deployable shield against, the unreinforced wall. You can make some plays, and that's exactly where you got majority of the kills, where Fatar picked up a lot. And do we see a Tachanka coming in over here? The flame's going to be coming out. And Hasib instead has gone for the Vigil. It's going to be the Boss Chief Vigil, I'm assuming, given the kind of pace and the play style that Sea Warriors go for.
Oh, I'm interested right now with Tachanka walking in. You hear the footsteps from quite far away. Honestly speaking, if I'm the opponent and watching Tachanka walking directly in, I would be like, okay, I'm out of here. And possibly, Rainbow Six gives you that opportunity to counter your opponents equally. So it should be a lot of mind play right along with the utilities, and I'm certain that the team is prepared for the same. So would it be again I'm like a big time sucker for C4 plays, but this particular round I don't see them, so it has to be those Claymores or probably with the cams and with the frags in place. Got to work with it.
You gotta work with what you have, and this time, given the side is 1F, a lot of presence in 2F from Hasib Warriors. They are gonna claim this ground as their own, and just how aggressive they play. A spawn pick actually gets spotted out by the drone over there. It's going to be utilized. Tony Play actually ends up eating a lot of damage. Barely has 20 HP to his name as he moves forward. Cryptex is going to be rappelling into the alley, hallway there. Tony Play jumps in as well. So you have a lot of people on that alley. Sakib actually gets a frag onto Fatar. That's the chunka out of it. No more flames for this man from Russia, unfortunately. And this is where Team Dim seems one of those times where the first blood is actually going in their favor.
Oh, that's a big one, and which was needed as well. Seems as if slowly Team Dim is waking up. The clock is to be taken care of. 2 minutes to work with Hasib again with the shotgun play. Big one. The counter is here. Hasib goes for the second, but seems as if has been stopped for a momentary with the gas pipe. That could explode. That could cause a lot of trouble as well. Taha, and so time with the P90 makes a big one, and that's Cryptic gone. So is it Sakib that's going to go fall? But we have a different picture. And Sakib has taken care of the top fragger while losing one. Tony is low on health, so I'm not expecting a lot of play out of him.
Yeah, that's again Xenox and Sakib actually trading each other for the second time in a row. This is a bit of a storyline being built between them right now, but the scenario is 3 versus 2 in favor of Hasib Warriors. Toti is lower on the HP mark, but so is Baz, and that's going to be Shaiko fan. Unfortunately, the guy with the full HP who gets caught out by Taha with that P90 in his hands. Now, what can Tony Plays do as the sole Ayana? He's walking around the halls, trying to maybe that's Taha actually trying to look for him. But can you actually catch out where this Iron is looking? He's checking every single angle, doing due diligence where it is due, and Hasib with this boss, he's just holding that stairways just in case Diana makes a sneak peek. But look at this, Taha does not know where the Diana is. Diana's just waiting around the corner, and now Taha will pay the price for the difference in the recon, difference in the information between these two teams. But Tony Plays only has 34 seconds on the clock before he makes his play, and I don't think the hatches are open, so they know that he has to make his way down to either the stairs from outside the building yet again. Stairs is still being monitored by the boss jeep, but now I think the sound has come in. This is where you can see the vigil walks in. The boss jeep first shot does not connect. He thinks he has changed sides. He didn't know he was in the same part of the doorway. And now Tony Place has made this very possible. The default times get shot out by him. It's him versus Baz. Pretty much on the similar HP marks, but Baz has the shotgun. That's a one pump, one shot. And you're going to be walking right into him. Tony did not know where he had to go. Was running low on time, and Baz very coolly collectedly stood there on ADS, shot this man down to death.
I cannot stop laughing. I'm so sorry. The way the body fell was and that's what happens when you walk directly into the line of sight of his shotgun. Probably so that it was not exactly expected, but that's a corner to be checked. I'm so sorry, man. That was way too funny to watch. All right. A 4-1 being the score. Again, the same sort of situations would occur. Got to be ready. Hasib Warriors, I don't think they are the defenders. They are definitely enjoying the game a lot and are going further for them. Now, mind this, man. If they go for the 6th, it will be really, really difficult for Team Dim to take control of the situation. So they have to put a break. But doesn't seem like the brakes are working.
Yeah, but this is the site where they actually did get that one round they have to nip. So maybe some hope of the history repeating itself for them to actually make any moves over here. Hasib's going to be sticking to that boss G vigil gameplay. Taha's gone back to the dog. Fatar has the bandage. Xerox has his crack on. But if you can see, the kills across the board for Hasib are pretty equal in number. Everybody's still around that 5 or 4k mark, so everybody's pulling their weight, and Bas has only died once. He's been their clutch factor in a lot of these rounds towards the ending part of it, as you can see just by the numbers itself. But this is round 6. It has started out. Hasib Warriors are 4-1 against Team Dim. Team Dim has honestly to get this round if they have any chance of actually making an impact in the series.
Impact indeed it is, and that needs to be taken a step further to make the best mark out of it. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. It is round number 6, which is crucial. Team Dim has to make a mark. I want to see the score to go to for their name, but looks as if Baz is no swallowed by Taha walking in. Meanwhile, Fan goes for the diffuser. Tony can get into trouble, but Fan has been taken, eliminated off the play. The Sakib and Tony plays. They are into trouble. The shotgun making a big time mark. Bas gets the best out of the situation, followed by ZDX. laying the last nail. I mean, that would be very soon to say so, but the angles have been covered, the corners have been checked, and that's a round again into the name of Hasib Warriors, who didn't leave any room of space for Team Dim to work with. Now that the side's been switched, I mean, what's the difference for Hasib Warriors? We're defenders, they are the attackers. We're the attackers now. It would be even further. But Team Dim has a chance to win the round, because in the prior rounds, what I've seen that they have been very good defenders.
Yeah, but Team Dim, I honestly didn't like this attack round for them, the last one. They just pretty much rushed the side. There's a smoke you're playing against. You can't actually honestly do that. And it was a flawless round for Hasib Warriors as they head into their own attack. Just seeing the veto, it's a Mira and Blackbeard ban coming out very smart from a series, banning out the Mira, not allowing you to take that into the 2F margin for yourself. What will be the second man? The Goyo and Grim. Not quite sure. Maybe there's a couple of Goyo players on Dim, but anticipate maybe other better options, but that's what you want to go for. I like the Grim back because it prevents you to do anything across the half wall. A lot of these small, cheeky angles that you could actually be holding from Team Dim get flushed out by the Grim if it's used properly. Looking at their defensive lineup, Warden, Fenrir, Smoke, Maestro, and Valkyrie have brought in. No electric whatsoever, but I'm very interested to see how this Warden will perform, given that there's no stuns to go through. Maybe it's a couple of smokes.
And with the smokes, a lot can be covered and achieved, can create a bit of chaotic scenarios as well. Got to see if that can be used in the way can be expected for sure. At the same point of time, you have we have two C4s from Team Dim. So I'm getting excited. Shaco Fan has one and the other in the hands of Sakib. I believe Shaco Fan got that. No, that did not happen so far. So the only C4 explosion that was kind of like a team kill. Whereas Team Dim, don't do that. Please don't do that. You need the kills from the other side. So got to see who it's going to be. Who would be the prey to fall right here. 5-1 on the board. I want to see 5-2.
I honestly think they brought the Warden thinking it's going to be a Ying gameplay coming in, but you can see Hasib Warriors had that Amaru, they've changed it for the Blitz, they're trying to maybe just rush into sight of how they want to look for. You have the Electric from, or EMP from the Thatcher, but you have actually nothing to break open doors. You don't have to second gadgets for that, essentially. Look at this, the rush I was talking about, the Ash just walks into sight pretty much. Capital's breaking out, but the Fenrir is going to catch them, they have to back away. As Electric gets Hasib, this is not looking like the kind of rush they wanted here. Blitz is already out of the picture. The house going to be walking into the prying arms of Cryptic. Instead, it's a 5v2, make it a 5v1 in favor of Team Dim, and make it a 5v none. And the flawless round that Hasib Warriors had done in their defense has now been matched by Team Dim in their first defensive round.
See, we asked for it. And it's been delivered by Team Dim. We wanted the 5. I mean, I wanted the. You as well wanted to look at it. So 5-2 indeed it is. So they come prepared. And we have seen them doing very good defense on the prior rounds, and this has continued. What good has been happening. But now that Hasib Warriors have tasted a little bit of the defensive strat, I'm 100% certain there would be a very good counter coming up on the fallen arm round. And to make it seem Ash really has a good skin. Don't mind, guys. I get lost when I see these good skins, and R6 has so many. I like the one where you have the Master Chief, I forgot the operator, and then the Elf cap. That's again on Ash, I believe. So a lot of beauty involved in the game, and this is where I have fallen in love with the game.
Yeah, and I think, especially because you love C4s, you're going to be very happy to see the Pulse over here, because he's definitely going to be looking for the C4 kills with the heartbeat scanner. We maybe see a couple of substitutions coming in terms of operators from Hasib's side. The Jackal might be switched out for the Ace, the Twitch for the Nomad, and the Buck does get switched in the end. The is carrying the Diffuser as the Blitz. Not quite sure about that. He's going to be running in. Xerox has gone onto the Ash, can do a lot. I think he has the ACOG on the R4, so he's going to be harder in close combat situations. Talking about defensive, again, Sakib has bripped in the Warden. Can they match him? 2F is pretty much one of the easiest sides to defend on border, and they have locked it. They've got some more confidence under themselves. They've picked up their second round of the game. Let's see if they can make it 3 rounds for them in this round 8.
Yes, got to make it, and 5-3 happens. That's kind of like a worrying. I won't say worrying sort of situation because Hasib Warriors would be very much prepared for the same. So no detect at this point. Oh, they have one right around the corner. Got to see if that can be checked or not, and that angle needs to be checked. Otherwise, it's gonna be a big time trouble. But why did Hasib leave? Don't tell me it's again a 4-5 situation. Fatah falls and Baz could be the next one. Oh, this is not looking good for the team. Taha very well prepared. Baz gets the best out of this. It's a 2v4 situation wherein Baz is kind of like getting overwhelmed, but still he gets one after the other. Taha takes a lot of damage. That's an explosion. Falls. C4. No, that's a direct attack, and Cryptic makes it possible. That was surprising.
Yeah, we
Yes,
do have
I
a
know
DC
that-
also, I think so. Hasib is gone out, no? I think we might just be waiting at this point over here, Santa.
Waiting for this. Okay. I'm not exactly sure though. Wherein I hope that Hasib gets connected as soon as possible. I don't want to say a 4v5. Sorry to say this. Wherein it definitely feels like kind of even if it is one player down. Again, I can't wrap things around. Let me just get a control on the situation and then move further. But I know that with Zedux, Baz, Fatah and Taha in, the team can definitely handle it. But without Hasib, how exactly we got to just wait and watch. And this is around 5-3. Not oh, he's back.
He is back. We're gonna have, I think, equal numbers to pause. Ping dividends this time. At least this time they won't have to continue 4v5. But that last round essentially gives Team Dim the much needed pep in their step they need right there. 3 rounds they have acquired. They can be looking for, but now they are going to be on their offside depending on how they want to go for. I thought earlier in the round Zedux was about to catch out one of the stray guys over there in that side. Did not actually end up going for that, and you go down. Even then, when someone got knocked down by the Nomad, you could see the the Blitz and all just charging forward to maybe get the kill. But by that time, the person who was knocked by the Nomad got back up, traded it out, and that just spelled detriment for the side of Hasib Warriors. But as it stands, 5 rounds for them, 3 rounds for Team Dim as we head into round 9.
Yes, sir. And 36 seconds left out for the reinforcements to take care of. With this, that's a lot to work with. Getting the preparations done. Now, what I'm expecting is couple of kills right from Hasib right in the beginning. Somehow, I feel that I don't know. I could be wrong. It's kind of like a feeling. And round number 9, I have seen some very crazy stuff happening on the maps. So would it be like a 6-3? And we know what happens when Hasib Warriors bag the 6th victory. That's also the case with Team Dim. If they are the one to get a round into their name, there will be a big time hope to see an equalizer sort of situation. We'll talk about it. Now we have 3 C4s to work with. So Team Dim has to make the best use out of it and be ready, Mr. Producer, to capture those clips.
I think 3 C4s is too much. I think you could have maybe changed it out for utility somewhere else, but I think 2 C4s is like, that beauty number that you want to see. But I know that you hope to always see C4 kills, so 3 C4s is going to make it much more fun to be casting this one. But talking about operators from Hasib Warriors, they've brought the icon, I think, after they spotted the Valkyrie during the prep phase, so that's why they brought this out. Zedux has brought out the DMR from the Dokkaebi. I would have maybe expected to see a boss just for, meme sakes at this point. But no, Zedux gets the quick kill onto Cryptic Fake, does a call, is going to hack their cams, essentially. So those Valkyrie cams are not going to be of much use later on. But that's a very, very early pick up onto the smoke of all people who could have denied the plants or diffused at later stages of the game. So unfortunately, he's out of the round.
Out of the round, and that completely takes a part of the equation, and with this working might not be that possible or easy. I mean, it's not easy for sure, because Cryptic was the one to take care of a lot of angles that I have observed, and on the other side, Electric is the one who has been covering. Now he is there. He has one of the C4. Now got to make space for the same. No sense of detection at this juncture, and Zedux is slightly low on health. So while as far as I know about Zedux and the plays that I have seen, that's the beauty of the game.
Baz
That's
just
the-
crosswalked his way into sight. He just took everyone down. What is happening? Team Dim looked like a completely different team compared to the previous round, unfortunately. Tony plays the only one left, and the plant has gone down. Fatar's got that all for himself. There's a timer for Tony Plays to make it even more crucial. He does take down Baz, but can he pick up more? His position is known. He's trying to go for pre-fire angles on this side. He's waiting for someone to come to the window. Maybe a change, maybe a timing issue, but where can this Capcan go? He has been pushed into a corner. He's trying to feed back out. Just quick fires coming in from this side, but he's been pushed into a spot he cannot get away from. He has just been crowded into this corner, and every single person is firing. A vending machine will not save him in that favor, as Hasib Warriors are now on map point as well as series point.
Whenever they walk into the map point, it's like, just one step closer. And I know with a certainty, let it not be a caster curse again. Otherwise, I'll get into trouble from the fans. But most of the times, what I've observed is whenever the team Hasib Warriors are at number 6, they just make it happen. So Valkyrie and Ace are out of the play. What I want to see is like, what is the competition you're gonna walk into the game? That's where a lot of things, a lot of equation can be changed, I would say. So Dokebi, Thermite and Buck, that's interesting. Warden, welcome, along with Fenrir, Smoke, Master and Mute. So we have Demos, Dokebi, Twitch, Thermite, Buck, that's very, very strong. So got to make the best use out of this. 6-2-3. So Team Dim, can we expect the 4th?
Let's just wait and see what they can do at this point. The Sea Warriors, I think, are going to be looking to close this out. If Team Dim plays anything like what they did just in the last round, we can just waste by. Baz pretty much just legit just crouched, walked into sight, and nobody could answer. By the time you could turn around as the Warden, you just end up going down. So I just think this is a bit of lack of, traps earlier on in the round, lack of barbed wires. Because if you're just walking in from the entrance point like that with no cameras inside, default cam goes down.
10 seconds left.
I just think that's a very big lapse in judgment from Team Dim. They cannot be making mistakes like this at this point in the competition when their backs are honestly against the wall, where they really needed that round for themselves to actually make anything of this. Because right now it looks like they just need, even if they get 3 more rounds, it's going to take us all the way to overtime, and this is a very, very tough situation that Team Dim finds themselves in.
That's interesting. 3 rounds victory and then an overtime. Why not? Why not have some more C6 action? Whereas can Team Dim make it happen? And while they are doing the same, would Hasib Warriors allow them to do so? That's kind of like questions that are there on my head. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm kind of like expecting a quick frag. The DMR has made the mark, and Zedix is very, very confident and is lethal with this weapon. I have seen him deleting players off the map just like that with the DMR. Now, got to see on the other front, Fatar on the play, kind of like laying a little bit of damage. Cryptic has taken a chunk, and on the other side, Baz is moving in. That's a lot of play that is happening. So the I would safely say, I didn't expect this.
The Demos gets caught out. He was actually tracking the Maestro, but actually ends up falling down in his attempts to maybe get a kill through the floorboards. And they did get people out of positions they wanted them into, but they haven't made any progress into sight as of yet. No sight is open. I don't know why we are not looking around. Why are we looking at the ground over there, Taha? That is not where you have to be looking as the Lion. A nice kill by Fatar. Had the pixel perfect angle onto Cryptic. Knew he's going to pick, and now ends up picking up the line, resurrects him from his fallen down position. The calls are coming in from the Dokbi. It is a 4v4, but strong position still for Team Dim. And look at who is down below. That's Cedux, maybe looking for a potential kill on any roamer essentially over there. Baz catch out Electric. Another call comes in. So actually it's the Lion call that comes in this time, trying to prevent people from actually moving around. Fringes are getting activated across the map. Can you walk in over on this side? The doorway has opened up. It's tight angle being held by Xerox, but he's going to get hit from behind through the wall essentially over there. Nice pick from the Warden. You're trying to answer fire back as the Dokkaebi, but this allows the rest of your side to follow. Shaiko fan keys up. Sakib answers back. Baz around Tony before he goes down. It's a 1v2 Fatar versus Shaiko and Sakib. How much can this man do in this situation? He's taking quite a bit of damage, but so is Sakib. Shaiko is still pretty healthy, but Sakib on the return picks up the kill and a much needed round for Team Dim.
Absolutely much needed round. This is a victory they have been looking forward for, and as should get up the momentum to the next level for Team Dim to go for the fifth as well. And it is quite possible. The way they have approached the every angle, covered it, communicated, I would say, because this definitely looked much better performance compared to the prior rounds and prior map as well. I mean, sorry, Team Dim, wherein, I want some more from you. So, Dokebi Blitz, Thermite, Ash, and Twitch. On the other front, we have Bandit, Pulse, Doc, LIB, and Smoke. Sorry to say, I don't know why. Vin Diesel comes into my head whenever I see Pulse. Am I wrong about it?
Might be, depends on that. But more interestingly, they brought the Thermites. They're going to open walls below, essentially, at this point. Because if you were in top side, you would have brought in maybe, just the breaching charge instead, the hard breach charge, or you bring in,
Oh, yes.
anything else. Because if you go Thermite, that's pretty much you just going to be going this side, especially if you don't have the Ivana. So you're just going to be answering this way. You bringing a Thatcher or a Sledge just to bring out the EMP, but you're going to got the EMP even from the Dokkaebi. It's Fadar shall be the case holder. Electric has the Pulse, and Tony Place has gone for the Alibi this time. We haven't seen an Alibi as of yet throughout this series, so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. We've seen a Caveira once, we've seen the Vigil a couple of times, but now the other, primary roamer, the Alibi, is going to be making its appearance.
A big time I will expect out of it. So ZX, Taha trying to make an entry position, and that's a distraction factor working in their favor as well. Got to flush a little bit, and it kind of like opens up a possibility. I have to see if Cryptic is prepared for the same. Electric on the other side, yes indeed, good positioning, a chunk hapna. That's a very good flashbang, but not a lot of output, I would say. Meanwhile, a smoke in place that's going to stop them for a little while. I mean, sorry, there's a gas in place, and Tony has a big time plan. He's been stopped. This is where Hasib is good on this position. Cryptic on the other side taking a lot of chunk. Electric can get into trouble as well, but Hasib as well in troublesome position, but he bags banger onto the opponent. Cryptic meanwhile adds one more. It's a 2v3 situation, ladies and gentlemen, where Taha has to handle it. I'm kind of like not expecting 1v3. Trouble indeed, brother.
Yeah, it is definitely trouble, and nobody's even low on Team Dim. The Doc was, but he just heals himself up, self-stims himself, and there's not much a Sledge can do over here. He's trying to maybe look for a pick, but can he actually get anything? You've spotted out one potential player. The extinguisher gets popped. That's a smoke that's been made in through CJX essentially at this point, and he's using it very well. Electric will be getting the final kill after popping that smoke canister, that fire extinguisher, and now is actually leading us to a point where that overtime seems very achievable for Team Dim.
Yes, even I have to agree on to that, because 6-6 is right around the corner, and I was like so expecting again. It seems as if madness. I feel like it's my casticus that laid in, because I've been saying that with the 6 in place, Hasib Warriors will take it further. Any which ways, be it casticus or not, Team Dim is definitely playing a lot better than the prior rounds, and I'm loving it. So Sakibe and Electric together, they have been contributing, making it possible, while Tony Shaiko right along with Electric, and not to forget what Cryptic has done. So this is the round where things can turn around. Would you walk us into the overtime situation? And if that is the case, how many kills can I expect right on the spawn?
It's going to be hard. We will even go overtime. This is, a defense-heavy map, as you can see from the rounds that have gone out. This is going to be the offside where Hasib Warriors had honestly lost in defense, so they maybe have some answers to attack. And this is where we saw Team Dim just pretty much, just make a beeline for the bomb side, trying to get the plan down. I don't think that's what's going to be in the eyes of Hasib Warriors. They bring in an interesting comp. They have the Dokkaebi plus the Lion yet again with the Nomad. So you have backstabs watched out. You have good info when you're entering sites. You're going to keep people locked up. You're going to have the calls coming. Hasib has gone for the Ash, trying to get those straight out frags, but looking at Team Dim, they brought in a Scopus, and this is one of my favorite operators in Rainbow.
Oh yes, going to make a lot happen. Meanwhile, a quick kill is around the corner. Seems as if it's been already checked in. Not gonna wall directly, but if you make so, you have a big time surprise waiting right on the other front. Now Taha walking in, making it happen. Zedix on the other front, a lot of shots exchange wherein no connections, no damage. Sakib is prepared for the same, I believe so. Attempted but got heavily denied, has to reposition himself as early as possible because the position is completely compromised. And Fatar on the other side, making it way through. Taha could be the one to get the kill, and that's a big one. 2 on the other side.
They are trying to get in for these kills. The line charge was even used at that point, but nothing actually comes off of it. Oh, he just missed the timing on the peak over there. Even a wallbang here can get a kill on this guy hiding in the corner. C4 from below gets half HP from Z-Dux. That was used by the Pulse. He was looking for one of those kills, but now the calls are coming from the Dokkaebi. You can't ignore it for as long as you want to. As goes very low, but Z-Dux and Hasib pick up the kills. Tony answers back onto Taha. It's still doable. It's a 4v3. Make that a 4v2 in favor of Hasib as Baz gets the kill onto the Shaiko fan. But now it's just 4 versus 2. You can even go down, or make it a 3 versus 2. Electric gets a kill on Z-Dux, who was getting a bit over anxious, trying to get to sides. There goes the beeper. There's the sensor. That tells you somebody's standing over there. If you want to catch it out, you're walking in. Can you actually get any glimpse of anything that you want for yourself? Fatar's walked all the way down. It's actually spamming through the wall with his pistol, maybe trying to create a distraction. The diffuser gets changed hands. Hasib picks that up for himself. You can see a long anger being played by Alibi. Maybe not recommended with the kind of gun that you have, but a headshot is a headshot in Rainbow Six Siege. Much can come over. Fatar picks up Tony, plays, and that is what I was talking about. The Alibi with that long end, maybe not the kind of play you want to go for. Electric, half HP on the mark. It's a 3 versus 1. Bass is very low, can be counted out, but he can cause a distraction if he needs to. They just have to walk through. They don't want to go to overtime for Hasib Warriors. They've made such good work already in this map, and exactly that is what's going to happen. Fatar gets the last kill in the series. GG's to Hasib Warriors as they take down Team Dim in this best of 3.
A very well laid out plan, very well executed, and the strategy on time, on point. Well done, Team Hasib Warriors. At the same point of time, Team Dim, you gave your best of the best shot, and I'll give you the best wishes for the next tournaments. Now, Baz, Zedix, Hasib, and the others, they made the round happen. Time and again, we have seen Fatar and Taha doing some crazy stuff in the game, which has laid the foundation. And not to forget, Hasib, while Zedex was not there in the game, Hasib contributed. When Zedex walked in and Hasib was out, Zedex contributed. So it seemed like, the entire team has worked in tandem with each other and they made the match happen. With these 2 victories, they are the one to move further into the tournament. And why not? The best team has to move further. So Team Dim, it's like a big time learning opportunity, I would say, or probably, it's just not the day. It happens to most of the players.
It does. I think Border was closer than anticipated, especially with that 5-1, score line in favor of Hasib Warriors after, their defensive half. But this is Border. It is very defensive centric, so you have to play accordingly. I think they got over cocky slightly in their attacking half in certain plays that they had to make. They could have maybe closed it out at an earlier stage, but Team Did was answering back very, very well. I really like how Electric was stepping up huge during the attack rounds for themselves. Picks up the triple, gets the quadra over here after he takes down Z-Dux with a nice, pick. I just love the way he's spraying around on that Ash with that R4C. That's exactly how that gun was intended over here. But honestly, good match to both of them. Hasib Warriors will be moving on to the grand finals in a 2-0 fashion. Mind you, first map was a 4v5, so they're going to have that under their belt for quite some time, that they've taken down another team in this point of a competition in a 4v5 situation.
And that's a big one. That's a huge one to remember as well. Beautiful match, lovely executions, and a lot of times, a lot of things which could have been clippable. And I hope that, they have already captured. We are watching couple of it. A beautiful angle that was, man, and a quick banger. There was also the other right around the wall, walked directly into the shotgun. I hope that got caught, that got captured, and that was one more. And Taha, amazing executions with the P90. At the same point of time, there were like a couple of Sterling SMG kills that I remember, and the AK variants, they made their mark. Oh, a lot has happened, and Hasib Warriors definitely require to take this one more step further. You know what? The next stages of the tournament are going to be even tougher. You're going to face off much bigger teams, and I hope that they are well prepared for the same.
Yeah, they have just one more team that they have to conquer, depending on who wins in the semifinals tomorrow. This is the shotgun kill that you were talking about over here,
Yeah.
Santa, where you just pretty much just gonna walk into Buzz. It's very calm
Boom,
crosshair. Just
bye.
presses one button, and falls to the ground. Had no inkling that anyone is even in that corner. But we didn't get to see the kind of C4 kills we wanted. We got to see one C4 kill, but it was on his own teammate in map number 1. That also came out from Taha, especially at that point. So
Yeah.
very fun factors that we got to see. I think Hasib has to work a bit on their attack in this map, because honestly, I think they could have closed it out earlier. And Team Dim, with that last stage effort, if they had not done that in their last attack round, they could have maybe got even one more on the board and actually taken us to that overtime that we were hoping to see more action between these two teams. But unfortunately, they rushed the side. They end up falling down. It's just quick work of killing off the Stranglers at this point. It's a flawless at the end of the day for Seaboarders at their last defense round. But the attack round is where, or defense round for Dim is where they changed it around. This is the kill I was talking about. I thought he could have maybe got it very nicely. So that man was just waiting before he actually spin away, so he doesn't get caught in that wallbang angle for him. And I think Hasib Warriors did, lack a lot later, and they did also have that, unfortunate disconnect to one of the rounds where Hasib
Yeah.
vanished.
And that disconnect kind of like created a situation from where I felt the team might not be able to emerge, but they surprised every one of us. The moment they gathered up, and thankfully Hasib was back in action as well. The moment he was back, and we saw a lot of bangers, and then they took it further. Meanwhile, Team Dim kind of like buckled up. And that's what I really liked, because from a situation where there was like on a single number, walking straight up, they got one victory after the other. They took one step at a time, right? And they moved in. And Baz, oh my goodness, man, with that FAMAS, that's a weapon to be careful for. On the other front, I was expecting a couple more of C4 takedowns. They attempted, wherein that connection did not happen, and the splash damage was all that could be taken further for. The other factors which I really liked is the way the team has covered each other, which is needed. A lot of situations, look how Sheikh as well as Sheiko took one after the other. No room, no chances to be left outward. If this sort of play continued, the overall result would have been a total different factor. But then again, if we say that, if this happens, that happens, if that happens, something else happens, it could be a total different game altogether. And being spectators, being casters, we can say like a number of things. It's the players who are playing over there, and they are the one who are facing the heat of the situation, right? So, also, the other factor which I really liked is, even though the matches were so intense, Hasib Warriors, several times I observed that they had a lot of fun during the play, which is very much needed during an intense gaming session of R6. And kudos, man. I'm talking about what Taha did, and you observed it, right?
That did good. I think they did good. I think the one problem in Team Dim in their defense was that one round where Seaboarders actually reached that six mark in their round counter. I think they played it so bad. Baz just walks in. I think that lack of judgment is going to haunt them. That in the VOD review, that's what they're going to be notifying about. Like, this cannot be going down at this level of a competition. You go down electric, the last man alive. Can't do much in this scenario. He's trying to get a kill here and there, but he's very locked up in. He can't actually do much. You're going to use the breaching charge to distract actually from Electric, who's just waiting. But unfortunately, Fatar gets the kill, gets the GGs for Sea Warriors. They're going to be proud of the outcome for today. Maybe I did see a couple of mistakes given the kind of positioning they were in, both teams in both maps. But at the end of the day, Hasib Warriors did come out on top. They are going to be your winners in the semifinal and head themselves off to the grand finals to face. And to see who they face, you have to see about tomorrow's matchups as well.
Got to look forward for the same, and we'll be waiting for it. Meanwhile, talking about the numbers, 7 to 11 for ZRX, Bars with 14 to 6, Hasib with 7 to 6, 8 each, 8 to 8 for Fatar, and Taha with 7 to 9, 14 to 6, Bars. The top fragger from the team. On the other side, Electric with an electrifying play, 12 to 10. 7 to 11 for Sakib, 9 to 11 both for Tony Place as well as Cryptic Fate. And how did that number happen? Shaiko fan, 3 to 9. If we are talking about the cost, not a lot. 73% for Tony. There's only one with a higher number, I would say. 67 is there. And the others are all at 53. That's quite surprising that, all landed up at 53. Over here, we see 87% bars, obviously, a big time contribution to the team. And Taha, oh my goodness, man, though you had the higher number of deaths, but the contribution factor from him was so huge. And whenever it was needed, you have seen him at a lot of corners.
Yeah, and more importantly, talking about the man who's missing in map 1, right? Zedux in map 2, he's got 3 first kills without giving a single one. That's a huge important factor in this. I think Zedux made his mark pretty much into the first kill into this game where he got that for himself. And this is what they were missing out over there. I think if this was a 45, honestly, they would not be coming out on top. I think we have some corrected numbers there on the cost over there if you want to take us through, Santa.
So this is the overall summary. So Baz with 1, that's the ratings. Talking about the kills, of course, Baz with 29, Hasib with 23, Fatah with 17. Of course, Zedux would be low because he missed out on the first one. 7, Taha with 11. Beautiful numbers. The number of deaths, of course, they are there, and it would be there. Why not? But Baz, very good ratio maintained. 29 kills with only 10 deaths. That's amazing to watch. On the other side, if we talk about Team Electric almost. Team Dim, Electric, one more time, electrifying play, 19 kills. Quite unfortunately, 19 deaths. So that's where things kind of like not worked, I would say. Because that's obviously a factor that the team opponents have completely capitalized on. Shaiko, I don't know what happened. 11 kills right at the beginning. He was like so huge, and after that, it's kind of like a fall, or maybe not exactly there sort of thing. 20 deaths. Cryptic with 12 and 21. Tony with 12 and 24. Seki with 12 and 20. Those are like big time. So these are the things that needs to be corrected, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And given that Xenox actually missed a map and came back for second, Baz still has less deaths than him in the technically both games combined. So Baz with really, really good numbers coming in. And I also like that Hasib has a almost 71% headshot rate. Given that he has 23 kills, that's a huge also numbers that you have to look for as we head out more. I think these are the players that we have to watch out for going in to the grand finals between these teams. Unfortunately for Team Dim, their journey does end. They will not be moving forward in the Community Cup, but they did put up a good fight, especially on border in their defensive round. Being 5-1 down is not a huge, is a huge, actually a huge feat to come back from, especially against a strong team like Hasib Warriors.
Very well said. Against Hasib Warriors, you have to be very well prepared. And tomorrow we are actually waiting for one of the teams to reach the next stage, and that's when we'll come to know the actual names. Wherein I have names on the list, and I know these teams. I have seen them play. So if one of the team, I won't give you a spoiler, but if one of the team walks in to face Hasib Warriors, let me tell you, it's gonna be a symphony that you're going to. Symphony is to be heard, but here you'll watch because while the music is beautiful, but the game is going to be quite deadly if these two teams face each other.
Yeah, it's going to be absolute cinema. But for that, guys, you have to join in tomorrow. It's been me, Madness, alongside Santa for Semifinal 1. But please make sure you join for Semifinal 2 tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys then.